So, see, for example, we have considered this pond ecosystem, which will be considered as a self-sustainable ecosystem. Pond ecosystem, this is an aquatic ecosystem, so pond ecosystem, that is a freshwater ecosystem. Why I am considering this as an example is because, so this is a self-sustained ecosystem, and you can visualize all four components of the ecosystem. Which are the four components? So you can visualize the productivity, decomposition, energy flow, and also the nutrient cycling. Just briefly, quickly, we will visualize all these four components in this. See, what is this? What is the system here? What is the medium here? Is nothing but what? Water. Water is what? Is it a living thing or non-living thing? Definitely it is a non-living thing. That means it accounts for abiotic factor on which all these organisms, it can be fish, it can be any plant, it can be simple microorganisms, maybe algae, maybe cyanobacteria, maybe bacteria, maybe fungi, whatever kind of living organism. That means what? There is a continuous interaction of biotic and abiotic factors. Yes or no? So productivity will be definitely there. How we can analyze these four components? Productivity is there. You can see the plants. Plants, there are different types of plants. There are a set of plants called as phytoplanktons. Means the plants which are floating on the surface of the water, and submerged plants are there which are just below the surface of the water, and they are completely benthic plants. That means the plants which are growing on the soil at the base of the pond. So different types of plants are there, and all of these plants contribute to what? The productivity, the primary productivity. They are the primary producers of this ecosystem, on which the like animals, like maybe the zooplanktons, small animals which are floating on the surface, or maybe they are present at the bottom, like the snail it can be, right? Or any other animal which is actually herbivore, directly feeds upon these primary producers or the plants. That means, what is it indicating? Productivity is there, and energy flow. That means from the plants, these animals are drawing the energy. That accounts for what? Energy flow. And all these organisms, any organism it can be. So once it is born, it has to die, and once it dies, it will fall on the surface of the soil and it will be decayed, because on the surface of the soil, which is rich soil, that will be rich with what? The decomposers, maybe fungi, bacteria, cyanobacteria, etc. So decomposition activity is continuously taking place. And see, I told you, this soil is rich with nutrients, and these nutrients, where do they go? Once again, they will diffuse into this water. They can be used by these plants, or they can be drawn by the plant roots directly from the soil. So once again, those nutrients which were there in the bodies of these animals, on the death of these animals, maybe by the excreta of these animals, all those nutrients joined here, and in the form of inorganic nutrients, once again, all those nutrients are getting into the body of the living organism, that is through the body of the plant. So did we visualize all four components here? Productivity, decomposition, what is that? Mineral recycling or nutrient recycling, plus what? What is the other one? So energy flow. All the four components we have visualized with respect to this one. And also the abiotic factors. These are the four main components, and abiotic factors, like you can see, there is a continuous recycling of the temperature, sunlight. So sunlight comes here, gets reflected back. Temperature will be falling because of the sunlight, and some amount of the temperature also will be given back to the atmosphere because of the evaporation of the water. So these are all the simple things that you have understood, studied and understood. That means, see, this is completely a self-sustained ecosystem which will exhibit all four components of the ecosystem, right? So this is the best example. Now, the first component that we are going to study here is productivity. Out of the four components, first one is what? Productivity. So I have already told you what is productivity. Productivity means what? It is nothing but the rate of production of the biomass. Biomass anta ಹೇಳಿದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಅದು weight ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿಲ್ಲ. Maybe you can mention that in the form of weight, or maybe you can mention it in the form of the energy. If you mention it in the form of the weight, you can represent it as the gram square per year. or if you are talking in terms of the energy, it will be kilocalorie per meter square of the area. So you can represent it in either of these ways. So the definition of productivity will be the rate of production of the biomass is called productivity, or in other terms, amount and rate of accumulation of matter per unit time in a given area is what is called. It is simple definition, right? And see, when you see productivity means all organisms, they produce some amount of biomass. We human beings also produce some kind of biomass. The body weight that we have is nothing but the biomass of the human being, yes or no? That means productivity ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ plant ಮಾತ್ರ production ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, it's a wrong concept. See, based on the productivity at which level it is, or which organism's productivity we are talking about, ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ we have got different types of productivity such as primary productivity and secondary productivity. Primary productivity ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು? It is the amount of the biomass or organic matter that is produced because of the plants when they undergo the process of photosynthesis. So there are two types of primary productivity here. One is GPP and other is NPP. GPP refers to gross primary productivity, which means the entire biomass that is produced by the plants during the process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis ಮಾಡುವಾಗ at the end of the process of photosynthesis ಎಷ್ಟು energy produce ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಎಷ್ಟು biomass produce ಆಗಿದೆ, that is what we call it as gross primary productivity. ಅಂದ್ರೆ this gross primary productivity also has a share by the plant itself. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ some part of the energy in the gross primary productivity will be utilized by the plant body itself for the respiration purpose. Plant body respiration goskara GPP, a part of the GPP is used. So if you remove the respiratory amount of energy that is utilized by the plant in this GPP, then we get what is called as NPP. GPP ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು respiratory rate ಅಥವಾ respiratory loss ಅನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ, then we get what? Net primary productivity, NPP, that is nothing but GPP minus respiratory loss, right? So entire energy ಅಥವಾ entire biomass GPP ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ plant body ಎಷ್ಟನ್ನ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ respiration ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಅದನ್ನ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, then you will get NPP. So NPP ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು? So ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ the plant body has no share in the NPP. This NPP, net primary productivity, means it is the total biomass available for the heterotrophic organisms, for the consumers, herbivorous organisms which directly feed upon the plants, right? So GPP minus respiratory loss, it is the available biomass for the consumption of heterotrophs, right? And that is why we can give this simple equation, GPP minus R is equal to NPP, right? So this is about the primary productivity we talk about. Then secondary productivity means what? Productivity means, see, plant body indane productivity barbekantiಲ್ಲ, I just had mentioned here, right? So productivity means it is the biomass produced in the body of any living organism, no matter whether the organism is a producer or it is a consumer. Maybe it is a herbivore, maybe it is a carnivore, alva? So even the plants actually they are being what? They are eaten away by the herbivores, right? And the animals, the carnivorous animals, they are being eaten away, they are going to eat the herbivorous animals. Like this, the food chain continues, as you know. And for every living organism, when it feeds on a lower living organism, it will retrieve, it will receive, it will draw some amount of energy with which the body of that organism is made. Simple helbeku anta helidre, see, the body, human body is how it is made. ಸೊ ನೋಬಡಿ, ನೀವು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದಾಗ ಯಾರು ಮಣ್ಣು ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ಬಂದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೈ ಮೇಲೆ ಮೆತ್ತಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದ ಬಾಡಿ ಈಸ್ ಗ್ರೋಯಿಂಗ್, ನೋಬಡಿ ಈಸ್ ಪುಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಅಪ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್, ಹೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ಇಯರ್, right? So body is growing because we are having the food, we are eating the food, we are ingesting the food, and that food that we ingest, maybe from the source of the plants directly or maybe indirectly, maybe from any other animals also, that energy that when it enters into the body of some other organism will actually become our body, right? That means, so that is nothing but the biomass produced by that particular living organism, and that is referred to as secondary productivity, right? So it is the rate of formation of new organic matter by consumers, not by the producers, not by the plants, only by the heterotrophic organisms or by consumers is what is called as secondary productivity, right? So see, when we talk about the productivity of the entire biosphere, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭೂಮಿಯ ಮೇಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ದು ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ the total biosphere of the earth ಎಷ್ಟಿರಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ approximately it will be around 170 billion tons of dry weight. Dry weight means what? If you take a small plant body, you have to remove each and every molecule of the water from that plant body, and whatever the dry weight comes, whatever the weight of the plant body will be there, that is the dry weight of the plant. So dry weight itself is how much? 170 billion tons dry weight will be there. This is per year. This is the organic matter produced by the living organisms in 1 year in the entire biosphere. And when we say entire biosphere, it does not only include the lithosphere, earth surface matra alla, the water surface is also there, right? The hydrosphere is also there, not only lithosphere. So of this, so no, even though the oceanic surface on the earth will be covered by 70%, but still the contribution of the oceans is very less, that is about 55 billion tons. Of this, despite occupying the 70% of the surface, the oceans, the productivity of the oceans will be how much? Only 55 billion tons, and the rest, the large amount of biomass that is produced, the large contribution is the thing but by the organism present on the lithosphere or on the surface of the earth. So what are the factors the productivity depends upon? Basically the primary productivity, because primary productivity ಮೇಲೆ secondary productivity will be interdependent. So we are talking about the factors affecting the primary productivity basically. So what are those? Area or habitat in which the organism or the plant is surviving, right? So if the availability of the nutrients, environmental factors in that area, so all that will matter. Environmental factors anta helidre, so you can consider the factors such as the air, light, soil, etc. So that is the abiotic factors, availability of the nutrients. Soil may be rich sometime, or sometimes it is a very unfertile soil, so unrich soil, like that. And photosynthetic capacity of the plant. By making use of all these resources, how best the plants can produce the food or photosynthesize is nothing but the photosynthetic capacity. These are the 4 main factors that you need to remember. These are the factors, they are going to influence on the primary productivity. You have to note it down. This is primary productivity. Okay, so this is for this class, and in the next class we are going to study about the next component, that is decomposition.